So you've just picked up the guitar, or maybe you're just looking to improve your playing. It's one of the most important scales in all of modern music. It's a rite of passage for every guitarist, and you need to know this to accelerate your playing and ultimately be able to solo over songs or even create your own music. We're going to go through what it's about, how to play it, and how you can practice it. So grab your guitar and join me for a cup of coffee as we break down the minor pentatonic scale. Hello friends, thanks for stopping by. If you're new here, my name's Tom. I'm a final year medic based in the UK, and welcome to Tonic. On this channel, we explore all things guitar, expanding our musical horizons and discussing tips that I wish I knew when starting my journey to become a musician. Today, we're breaking down the first position of the minor pentatonic scale, demystifying it, showing you how you can play it, and then there'll be some demos at the end that you can practice along with at home. All timestamps are down below in the description. Why is this important, I hear you ask? Well, let's see whether this applies to you at home. Drop your story down in the comments below and see whether any of this resonates with you. I'm a self-taught guitarist, so let me tell you, it's very easy to pick up bad habits that halt your progress. I wanted to learn a new song with a solo that was way too fast for me at the time, and I felt completely lost at where to begin trying to solo over my favourite artist's songs, let alone the concept of making my own music. In addition to that, the strength in my pinky finger was abysmal, and because of that, I avoided using it. More on why that's a bad thing later. I didn't want to give up on my dream of playing like my idols, like Mark Knopfler, like John Petrucci, like James Hetfield, but I didn't see a way around getting faster and ultimately achieving my goals. So I took the plunge. I learned this scale to make a dent in the large unknown depths of music theory, more out of desperation at the time than anything else, and something amazing happened. I saw almost instant results, although it's not hard to improve your timing when you've never used a metronome before in your life. So what do you need to know? Well, the minor pentatonic is made up of 5 notes, and they repeat over and over. They are the first, or the root note, the flat third, or minor third, the perfect fourth, the perfect fifth, and the flat or minor 7th. And they're your 5 notes. If you're confused by any of the terms I've just used, not to worry. I'll link the video down in the description when it goes live, where I break down music theory and all of its complicated mess of strange words into manageable, simple, bite-sized chunks. However, it's important to use these terms now so that you're familiar with them as you progress on your guitar journey and become more advanced. Trust me, it makes everything so much easier. Today, we're talking about the scale in the key of A. Why? Because it's simple, it's in a nice position on the neck, it's easily accessible, and it's very common. You'll find lots of other people refer to it. But the cool thing is, once you learn this pattern, you can translate this shape up and down the neck to play in whatever key and achieve whatever sound you like. Pretty cool, huh? So, how do I play? Well, let me show you what it sounds like and then we'll break it down. Okay, so now you've heard what it sounds like, time to break it down. A couple of ground rules before we begin. I'll give advice on what fingers I use for each note in each position, and you need to be using a metronome for this. It's absolutely vital to develop strength and dexterity in all 4 of your fingers, so you can learn to play fast and cleanly at the same time. So practicing this scale with the correct finger positioning will develop these skills nicely as a neat little bonus. The metronome is integral to how I saw such amazing results and improvement in my playing, and it's how you develop a sense of timing to be able to play with other musicians. I'm also using alternate picking, and by that I mean I'm alternating between down and up strokes with every single note. Every other note is a downstroke, and every other note after that is an upstroke, and that continues for the whole scale. So we're going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and so on. That's important because unless you're someone like James Hetfield, who is an incredible downpicker, most of us can't play that fast, and it builds good technique, nice legato and flow, and it's something so incredibly useful to get under your belt to be able to play other people's songs or play fast yourself. In summary, if you follow these tips and tricks and these ground rules, you'll be developing good habits from the get-go, which will enable you to play fast and cleanly much, much quicker. Now we have the ground rules covered, let's dive into the notes. As I said earlier, we have the first note, which is also called the root note, and that is exactly the same note as the key you play in. So for us, in the key of A, we are starting on the A note. The actual notes I'm playing will be displayed down below. As a rule, each finger should generally have an area that it covers, so I like to think of it in terms of frets. So for this exercise, the first finger should be covering every note that we play on the 5th fret. The second finger will cover the 6th fret. The ring finger will cover the 7th fret, and our pinky or our little finger will be covering the 8th fret. And that's a good way to get all the fingers involved. Everything's under your hand, and it's a great way to build technique. So the notes. A, or the root note, where we start, is found on the 6th string, so the thickest string on the 5th fret. So we're going to be playing that with our first finger. And then we are going on to the second note, which is the flat 3rd. Now that's found on the 8th fret of the 6th string. Another handy tip is that with a pentatonic scale, you only ever have 2 notes per string. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 as you go up the neck. So on the 6th string, for our first 2 notes, we have the root note and the flat 3rd. On the 5th string, we're playing fret 5 and fret 7, and that's for the perfect 4th and the perfect 5th. Perfect 4th on the 5th fret of the 5th string, and 7th fret 5th string is the perfect 5th. Then we're going to the 4th string to play the flat 7th. And as I said before, we only have 5 notes in the scale. So what happens? It repeats. We're then back up to the root note, but we're an octave higher, and that's your perfect octave. And then the scale just repeats using exactly the same notes, they're just an octave higher. So on the 3rd string, we are playing fret 5 and fret 7 again. So just like we have, same layout on the 5th and 4th strings, exactly the same on the 3rd. Then we are onto the 2nd string, and that is the same layout as the 6th string. So we're playing fret 5 and then fret 8 with our pinky. And a nice little cheat, which I find quite handy when I was learning all these scales, is that the 6th string is an E in standard tuning, which is what we're in at the moment. And the top string, the 1st string, is an E. They're just several octaves apart. So anything on a scale that you play on the bottom string, you will play on the top string as well. It's the same fingering, same notes. Pretty handy, huh? So you've already learned what's going to be on the 1st string because you played it on the 6th string. So we're on to fret 5 and fret 8. And then we just work our way back down. If you need to pause or rewind the video at this point, feel free to do so until you've absolutely nailed the notes and understand what we've just gone through. If you have any questions, drop them down in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer any queries you have. Now for some demos, so you can practice this swanky new scale, eh? Coming up are 3 demos at 3 different speeds. So we are practicing them all at 60 beats a minute. I'm going to use a metronome on an app that I've got on my phone. Most metronomes are free. There's one on Google. There's no excuse not to use one. You can get free ones absolutely everywhere. You don't have to buy a physical one. So no excuses, guys. We're going to be playing them at 60 beats per minute. Exercise 1 is going to be in quarter notes. So that means every time there's a click of the metronome, we are playing 1 note. Then we're going to do 8th notes for exercise 2. And that's going to be 2 notes for every click of the metronome. And then finally, we're going to be doing 16th notes in exercise 3. So for the 3 exercises, we've got quarter notes for 1, 8th notes for the second one, and 16th notes, which is 4 notes per click of the metronome for exercise 3. Let's get into it. Okay, so I have my app on my phone. We're going to start some practice, and so this is 60 beats a minute. I'm going to pop this down here, and we're going to go from here. So 1 note a click. Exercise 2. So this is 2 notes for every click of the metronome. Exercise 3. 16th notes. So we're playing 4 notes for every click of the metronome. There you have it, the minor pentatonic scale in the first position. Congratulations, nice work. Now I hear you ask, first position, what now? That's all in the next video. So keep an eye out for the next video in the minor pentatonic series, where I go into more detail about that and give you some more useful tips and tricks to practice and improve your playing. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. If so, please smash the like button and comment down below. It helps the channel out massively and makes the algorithm more likely to recommend the video to other people. Also, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell if you want to see more videos in the series, as well as multiple lessons and covers. That's all for now, folks. See you in the next one.